Aloha everyone. Mwah. Well, today it is July the 13th, 2018, Friday the 13th. To a lot of people that's not a good day, but for me it's a blessed day and a relief day. And I'll get to that in a moment. And it is now 8:53 p.m. Well, first off, I'm going to start off when the mail came this afternoon, and when my daughter brought some things over to me a little bit later on, she went and got my mail out of the mailbox for me, and I had this envelope. Let's see. There we go. And inside the envelope was this very pretty card. Here's the back of it. And inside the card, this is what it says. Those right here, let's see, right there is Dr. Raskin's signature, and the rest of the signature are some of his nurses that are in the office. And I was very surprised and amazed and just in awe. And like I've said, I typed it, I've said it on video, I've said it out loud to whoever will hear me. I have got the best medical team together now, and they are all awesome. Even all the office workers, even the ones that talk on the phone, just the whole team. And it takes all of us working together to help, to do what they went to school to learn to do, and to help others, and try to make them as best as possible with and comfortable as they can with whatever medical situation they have, or disease, or illness they have, or injury. And it takes the patient doing just as much work as the doctor and the nurses and the office help and the lab techs. It takes everybody working. When you start pulling back and start saying, oh no, I'm not going to do it today, no, I'll wait till next week, as you keep pulling back and doing that, the team starts falling apart. That's the same way if it was your football team, your basketball team, your soccer, your polo, your hockey, your bowling, whatever sport that you're playing. It takes the whole team working, doing their part, each one doing their part. It's one thing to be where you got a fever and you got to stay home and you're sick, or you're in the hospital, or you've had a death in the family. Those kind of what I call excuses, and those, it hurts the team, but they all pull together because they've been in those shoes as well. So they don't mind pulling the extra weight. But it's when you start letting go and pulling back and not doing your part, when deep down in your heart, in the back of your mind, you know you can pull it up and do it just a little bit harder or a little bit longer, or at least show up and be there and tell them honestly what's going on. Then everybody will work with you. It's when you start pulling back and you're not opening the door and letting them know the littlest thing, the most, you may not even think it's important, but essentially, in the long run, it is. It's best to lay out all the cards on the table to begin with, and all during the process, because otherwise, how else are they going to help you if you don't open up? Because you're sitting there, and maybe you leave there and go, well, the doctor wouldn't explain this or that. Did you ask the question in a way that where maybe the doctor could understand what you're trying to ask him or her? It's a give and take on both sides. It's just something to think about. So, anyway, I had my appointment today in Marble Falls with my orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Raskin. I saw his, I guess it's his physician assistant. She's real nice, real sweet, and very knowledgeable. She is one of, I've got to admit, I've only come across two physician's assistant that I don't mind seeing. She is one of them. My other one is the one here in San Saba that is the physical, I keep saying physical, the physician's assistant that he's got. And he's awesome. And he's the one that saw me on September the 29th of 2017 when I first fell. That caused all the injuries I've got that I'm still recovering from. I'm still recovering from injuries in 2016, and I'm still recovering from the one, well, 16, 17, and now 18. So and the one in 15. So I've got these injuries, so I've really got the 3 falls, even though I'm still counting the one for this year because it's carrying over into this year. But it wasn't, this injury that for the surgery was not caused this year. It was caused in September of 2017. So, it's, and the one in 15 is the one that I had fallen, well, I didn't fall, but I broke my ribs as I was reaching into my washing machine. And I'm still trying to get over that. It takes this, my injuries, I may not get completely over them, but yet they haven't had all that time to really heal because they've not been really taken care of medically wise, doctor wise, and what they can do. I've done on my part, except that it was just trying to get there, lack of transportation and getting there. So it's taken me all this time to really pull and go and say, okay, enough is enough. I'm tired of this, of not getting my medical taken care of, and by George, it's going to be done come heck and high water. That's just all there is to it. And I'll do whatever it has to do to make that possible. And and people who know me, that once I get even my sister will attest to this, because she's the same way. Once we get our mind set on something, I don't care who you are, you're not going to change our mind. About the only one that has come really close to being able to redirect me is my sis. It's only because, and my brother. They both have a certain way, I don't know what it is. They've got that special, unique ingredient that will stop me without me really knowing I'm stopping. And then they they plant that little seed where I think about it without them knowing that they've done that. And then I go, dadgummit, bro, or dadgummit, sis. Well, okay. Y'all are the only ones. So we all have that certain one that can do that. So, my bro and sis, I see and talk more with my sis, but with my bro and I, it's still as if we hadn't been apart, but yet, as he would probably say, well, you're doing all the talking all the time. I can't get a word in edgewise. And so, but when he does talk, I don't care who's around, you're going to listen. Because he's very knowledgeable, he's very wise, he's very smart, he's a deep thinker, he's a deep soul searcher. He has a way of listening, and really listening. And you may not think that he is, but he is. And by the time that he does speak, and you've asked him maybe to help him in an area or whatnot, or without even knowing, he's figured out a way for you to do it maybe in a different way, or have you thought about doing it this way? And don't say no to it. Just go ahead and give it that honest try, because you don't know until you do, which is true. And he and Daddy were the only two that could really get that in my head. And I go, okay, so, if you've got people that are able to help that with you on that, those are blessings of angel right there in front of you. Never let them go. Take heart of what they say, because it's going to help you at some point. You never know when that's going, maybe put it on the back burner somewhere up there, but it will be there when you need to use it. So that's just something to think about. But anyway, I go and they take off, and I am so glad I got rid of that thing. Yeah, that helped at the moment, but like I had shown you on some of the pictures and have written about in the description, that it was choking me down at the bottom part and up here at the top part. And when they cut that off and took that off, it was just like, my arm was just, it seemed like it was made of lead, and it just kind of was falling, and it was falling, but it was yet screaming out like, finally, you've taken that off, you finally open the door where I can breathe. But of course, when the air hits it for the first time, because it's like new skin, really, because it's been, it's been protected for 10 days. And, it's like, whoa. And so it was just kind of weird, and it's still kind of weird. And even with my touching, the sensation of from that area, how that was all covered, it does not feel right. It doesn't feel like my arm yet. It just kind of is still weird. But anyway, I took some pictures, but I decided that I would do it by video. And maybe that will kind of help a little bit. Okay. Now, this is kind of graphic. So if you get a queasy tummy or don't like to look at anything graphic, you may want to turn your head or go to the bathroom or go get you something to drink and just listen. But when you're not so queasy and you can, well, then you can always come back to my page and relook at the video, because it will still be posted on there. And so anyway, it was kind of a shock to me, because when I looked in the car, when I got inside the car, I was like, whoa. So, anyway, here we go. That's just the first part of it. And let's see. And then, let's see. Okay. And then, remember that bruise that I was, let's see, right, let me get my finger right above it. Right, let's see, right here was where it went around, right here. And then this is the bruise. Where is it? Whoops, there we go, right here. It's starting to fade some, but it was real dark there for a while. But anyway, this was all being pinched and cut off. This is still real sore and real tender. Let's see. And then this is all bruised, right? Because you can see it it comes right here, and then this right in here, right there, that's all bruised. This right here, remember where it was all puffed up? It's finally gone down, but my fingers are still swollen. Not as bad, but I got my length back, folks. And then I'm bruised up underneath here. Of course, this, all that blood has got to go somewhere. It's got to dissolve and move out. And then you can see now how, you can see it now. And then I've got this, there we go. I got this one right here. Right there. Whoops. Right there. You can barely see it. There we go. That was dark. And then I got some more back here on my back. how I got those, and then I've still got the ones up underneath my arms, on both my arms, and I'm still not sure how I got those. And the range of motion that he wants me to have and to use is I stretch my arm, going like if I'm going to let's see, how can I do it? To do it down like this, and then bring it up, and it's starting to pull on me, and so I'm going to stop right there, and then I go back down. No lifting, no pulling on anything or pushing anything with this arm as of yet. Now then, also to turn it from there back to here, it's for the elbow range of motion from the elbow on down, and then bring the wrist up, bring the wrist down, bring the wrist up, and see, with this one, let me get it out here where you can see it. Okay. With this one, I can do this. This one, I can go right here. I don't have the range in it as of yet, because see, this was that cast, that soft cast, even though it's a soft cast, it was all the way down, all, you know, right along in here. And so this, it was cutting that all off, so that's why I haven't, you know, got that. And then I put my elbow, my hand on my elbow, very gently, and hold it, let it rest down in the hand, and then I bring it up as well. It's another different kind, to make sure that the upper arm of it is not doing it. He wants just from the elbow down at the moment to be working on, to get that going. And then we're going to have to do more on this upper arm, because it still hasn't relieved what the problem that it was causing before surgery. And so, you know, I've still got that problem and then added more to it. So this has got to calm down before I can see any significant change on that part of it. And it's just going to take time. Now, how long a time? Whoops, we don't know. That's up to God and Jesus and my assigned appointed angel and my native forefathers. And of course me and my doctors, on how this is all going to, you know, it's not something that you can hurry up and do and push and push and push and push, because you do a little and you have to let it rest. Then you do some more and you let it rest. I mean, you can, it's already, you know, you're having to let it all heal. And you can speed it up, but you can also overspeed it up, and then it's going to out again. So what's that going to do? It's just going to prolong it even more. and make it that much harder on you. So, you know, when they say to do things in a certain way, in certain, you know, don't do it to where it hurts. And I've worked in physical therapy. People think that you got to do it until it hurts. No. They don't want it to hurt. When it starts hurting and starts pulling, that's when you need to back away, back off, and pull back. Because that's your body saying, hey, hello, what do you think you're doing? That's not cool. So they're trying to get your attention. Well, if you don't listen to it and you ignore it, and you keep on, well, that attention is going to get stronger and stronger. And if you still don't listen to it, they'll knock you on your butt one way or another. And then you go, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You think? So, I mean, listen to your body. Your body will speak to you. It's just that we have a tendency to tune out what it's saying to us. Oh, I can go a little bit longer. I can, you know, oh, it's hurting, but it's not hurting that bad. I can keep on. I can do a little bit more. I can do 30 more minutes, or I can do another hour, another 2 hours. Yeah, sure, okay. But at some point, either later that night or the next day, but at some point, you're going to go, oh boy. So, you know, just listen to your body. And if you don't know how to read your body, listen to your body, Google it. Try to, you know, talk to people who listen to their body and get their ideas of how their body's talking to them. That will help you on what to hear, because it's not hearing somebody actually talking, not literally. It's inside. You listen to your body. You know, when something hurts, your body lets you know that, hey, that hurts. Ow, ow. Well, and then the ways of your headache and things like that, you know, there's different areas of your body that will talk to you in different ways. So, for the ones that aren't in that tune of their body, if you don't hear me on anything that I've ever said, or if I've written something and you've read it and you don't grasp it, please grasp this. Listen to your body, because it's the only body you've got. You're not going to get another one. The only way we're going to get another one is when God calls us home and He makes us all whole again. And our earthly body, as we know it and see it, will not be what it will be in heaven. We don't know what our heavenly body's going to be until we get there. There may be a mirror for us to see. I hope so, because I want to see what my heavenly body looks like, because I already know, you know. And of course, too, he may erase my mind of what my earthly body was. We don't know until we actually get there. But I do know that it's not going to be the same as what we go with when we are called home. Meaning when we have passed, that's, you know, that's how we are earthly wise, but heavenly wise, we don't know yet. but that's going to be awesome. But yet all our loved ones will know us. So I'm thinking it will be in our younger form, but, you know, I don't know. That's just my thinking on it. Everybody's got their own thinking on it. So, you know, don't jump on somebody's case because, well, no, it's not going to be like this. It's going to be like this. You don't know. Nobody does. So, you know, be mindful of how you approach something like that. And, you know, but it will be interesting. That it will be for a fact. But yet, our loved ones and our friends and our precious fur babies and all our animals that are up there, they will know us. So, you know, that says a lot. So, you know, that part of it I look forward to. I'm not scared of dying. I'm not scared of going. I'm looking forward to it when that time shall come. But I do know that my earthly time here on earth, my journey is not over. I'm not done yet. I still want to enjoy what time I do have left. And while I still got what eyesight I do have left, because it is going. And it's scaring. Somebody asked me, what are you scared of? And I go, losing my sight, because I'm losing my sight. Well, how do you mean? And I want to, for all the people that I know right now, whether they are family or my special family friends or acquaintances, I want to see them face to face, my eyes looking into their eyes and their eyes looking into mine, so that I can recognize them and hear their voice and put their voice and their face together along with their walk and their sound and their tone and their touch all together, so that when my sight is gone and they happen to come to see me, I will know them by the sound of their voice, by their touch, and by their feel, you know. And I hope that they will let me put my hands on their, you know, face and forehead and everything to put that all together, because I'm already in the process of doing all of that. And I was told by my hearing doctor and also with some of my doctors that, and my eye doctor, that my body is already taking up the slack of what I've already been losing. And I said, oh, okay. And because they had said that, well, you know, you're reading lips, don't you? And I go, no, because I don't know how. They said, that's something that is, a lot of people think they have to learn it, but really and truly, when it's supposed to start when it kicks in, it'll kick in, and you don't realize that you are doing that. And I went, wow. You know, it took me, I said, that's what, you know, Helen Keller, you know, taught and all and everything. It was just like, wow. You know, so, you know, that, you know, that movie and that show impressed me quite a bit, and I didn't know it, but come to find out, as a young child, I was losing my sight. And so over all these years, I've been losing my sight. And so your body prepares for all of that. And it worked as well with my hearing as well. And it's gotten even better since I've been able to have the hearing aids for each ear. Now, I haven't had them on today or tonight only because I've been in so much pain that I just didn't want to mess and fart with them. It was, and I didn't even want my glasses on. I didn't want my cap on. I just, nah, you know. So, you know, it was all I could do to go to that visit today. And then coming home, I'm just kind of like trying to catch my second wind. And now that I'm starting to get on the mend, I'm now wanting to get my back looked into, because but I'm going to do my eyesight first, and then the next thing is going to be my back, or it may be my ankle. I don't know, but I've got some things that still need to be taken care of that, you know, we've got to really get in there to find out what's going on. It's long overdue. So, you know, that's why I keep saying I'm in for a long haul, and there's a lot that needs to be taken care of and done properly that needed to have been done back when the onset of it started. And so I'm going to get it to the best as it possibly can, at least better and not as painful as it is, because this is just, it's eating my lunch. Even sitting here right now, my back and my hip is, and that's not counting with my arm, but I'm just like, y'all can just quit. You know, it's like somebody is choking the upper part of me up to my neck, up to here. I'm just, you know, it's trying to freeze up on me. It's like somebody's filled you up with cement and it's swelling, and you can feel it tightening. You know, when the swelling starts, and it just starts getting more and more and more, and it's just like, you can stop. That's how my back, all the way around and into the front of me, and my hip, and goes down my right leg, and sometimes it goes down my left leg. But this upper part of my body is just like, I feel like I'm in vice grips. That body armor that is tightening on me. You know, you've seen it on the movies where they just tighten and tighten and tighten and tightening. And that's what my body's feeling like. And it hurts. And that's another reason why I cannot stand very long. And sometimes even with my walking, that's why I'm off balance, is because of all that. So, you know, it's just part of what I have to handle and deal and cope with to the best of my ability, and it's hard to explain unless you come and sit down and you take the time to really hear what I have to deal with. And because I don't like to talk about it all the time, but if somebody's really interested and really seems to be, quote, interested in wanting to know, I don't mind sharing it. But when you start cutting me off or giving me the hand motions, well, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You know, the hand, because this is the hand motion of hurry up. Or they use the finger, come on, or they'll point to their wrist, you know, and go like this, meaning, and they look down at their wrist like, hurry up, you know. So what else? Come on, you know. That, to me, I just want to knock them on their butt, because I sit, or I'll stand in the aisle or at the checkout counter, and I'm listening to you, and I'm taking the time, and I'll fix my body however I need to be able to give you the full attention to listen to what you're trying to say. I'm only asking the same thing, except I may have to slow it down a little bit, because sometimes people talk too fast, or they're hurrying up their words, and I'll only get maybe half the sentence or half of what they say in that sentence or in that phrase, and then they go on something else, and I'm going, what'd you say? And they go, well, I just told you. I go, well, I didn't hear all of what you said, and so I have to ask them to repeat it. Well, when I go to the second time for them to ask about it, they start, you can tell they're getting frustrated. Their mannerisms, their body, their expressions on their face, and their eye, you know, they don't, then they just are like, you know. So you have to take, and a lot of it, you don't know how a person is doing medically wise, because so many medical issues don't show outwardly. And so you don't know that a person has a situation that hinders them in some areas. And so take the time, take that extra 5 or 10 minutes to, you know, hear what they're trying to say, because they may have something really important to say, but yet you didn't want to take the time to hear it because you haven't got time. It's not that important to finish listening, but yet they stood there and listened to all of what you had to say. So do they not deserve the same respect and courtesy and politeness? Something to think about. So, you know, people are too heavy on being in the fast lane and in a hurry. We gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Well, folks, every single one of us are given 24 hours. No more, no less. So it's how you want to work those 24 hours and those minutes and stuff on whether or not you, and nobody's going to get everything done in 24 hours, you know, unless they're Superwoman. They try to be, and they try to be Superman. Well, you're going to catch yourself coming and going if that's the case. And you're going to be tripping over yourself. And then, well, why can't I get it all done? Well, that's something you have to figure out. And go and have a quiet time with God and talk it over, because He'll help you, He'll guide you. You just have to ask Him. And you have to ask Him with an honest, open, sincere, loving heart. Because trust me, He knows the difference. So, you know, I know for a fact that I would not be here doing this video if I have not had that walk and belief and strength and love that I have for God, my Heavenly Father, my Creator. Because He has gotten me out of situations that is like, how did I come through that? Oh yeah, thank you, God. So, you know, for me, without God, without Jesus, my assigned appointed angel, and my native forefathers, and my birth parents, and my daddy, and my mama, I know for a fact I would not be here. And then it extends outwardly from there to all the family and all the special family friends and all that help pray and love and support and all the prayers and the churches that, you know, say prayers to help and everything. That all goes a long way. Prayer is powerful. Prayer works. Prayers work. And even if you're not with a group of people holding hands and saying prayers, you can say your prayer to yourself for the person or persons, and you may not think that you're doing anything, but you are. It's going to take just that one, and then it's going to take the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and that all meets up. That's why it's called a prayer chain. And it all reaches to where it's supposed to go, and it does work. I'm living proof of it, folks. And I'm not the only living proof of it. There's maybe yourself, maybe you know a friend or a loved one that there was an unexplainable turnaround. That was God. That was all the prayers, folks. It's like right there, you know, and sometimes people say, well, I don't know how that happened. I just want to go and shake them and go, listen, this is how it happened. Some people want to hear it, some people don't, but that's fine. I just pray harder for them. But the thing is that we would not be here on this earth without God, our Heavenly Father, our Creator, and our birth parents. The three of them are how we got here. That alone is a blessing, a wonderment, a treasure. It's a special gift that you are not to take for granted. It's a blessing. Luck has nothing to do with it. There is no such thing as luck. Luck has nothing to do with it. It is blessing or blessings, because there is power in the word blessed or blessings. There's no power in luck. It's empty. It's an empty word. It's like, you remember where it said to have a firm foundation, you've got to have, don't build your home on just sand alone, because sand is not going to be a strong foundation. Besides sand, it takes water. It also takes the cement. It also takes all the belief and everything in God and everything to put all that strong foundation to work and be firm. The same thing comes with blessing or blessed. That's why when people say, well, you sure are lucky. No, I'm blessed. Well, you know, you got a bunch of luck there with you. No, I have a lot of blessings with me. So luck is just an empty word. It has no foundation. And so I would rather hear fingernails going down the chalkboard than to see the word typed or written or said of the word luck or lucky or luckiest, because there's no basis for it. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's the blessings and the blessed prayers that are getting you through and how it all comes about. Luck has nothing to do with it. So, you know, that's where it comes with, be mindful of your words. Just something to think about. Just food for thought. I've learned that through my 66 years. I didn't even like it when I was little. I would even tell different ones, luck hasn't got anything to do with it. It was a blessing that I was able to get through that. Or it was a blessing that our team got through that. And they were just like, huh? But, something to think about. And in '89, I died for 5 minutes. I passed a fat emboli to my lung after they had done surgery on my tibia and fibula and put a plate on my tibia on the lower right leg, which is that top bone of your right leg. And then in '93, I had the 9 nuts, bolts, and screws and plate taken out. And after it had already completely healed and everything, but it was still giving me as much trouble as if I had just broken it. And so, they took it out, but yet it was right after surgery that I passed that fat emboli to my lung, and I died for 5 minutes, and they brought me back. And I was in Hendrick Memorial Hospital in Abilene when I was living in Clyde, Texas at the time, and I had fallen at the post office at 6:15 that morning when I'd gone to the post office to check my mail, because I had a P.O. box there. And I came out of the post office to get back, step off the sidewalk onto the parking lot and go get in the truck, and I stepped off all right and landed, came up, landed, and then I stayed sitting down. But I had one leg going out one way and the other leg going out the other way. And when I looked down, it was like I was in a yoga stance. You know, I was sitting up, but I got this right leg, you know, curved inward. And I'm like, do what? And the other leg was off on another direction. And I'm like, this is not good. And then by then I could tell my lower leg of the right was ballooning up. I mean, okay, here's your lower leg. And by the time I saw it, that this section right in here had ballooned up all the way up to this high. And I had on sweatpants with the elastic band. And I kept asking my sister Kathy, I said, because she was in the truck waiting for me. And I kept motioning her, and she goes, what? And I got, Cat, and I was screaming. And she was getting out. I said, wait, get my fingernail file out of my purse. You haven't got time. What's wrong? You're hurt. You don't need to do your nails right now. I said, just bring me my fingernail file. And she said, what are you going to do? I said, you'll see. Just bring it to me. And I said, I've got to rip the seam open, so because this is getting too tight and they're not going to cut my pants. And she's go, well, it's not going to matter. And I go, I'm going to do it, because then I know if I want to put it back, I can put it back. And so as she went and got help and everything, by the time they came back, I had that undone. And by then it had even gone up and ballooned up more than what I had shown you. And so I knew it was broken. And it was a miracle that we even got into the pickup and then got to the hospital. So, yeah, that was an interesting time, because I got into ER, and when they were all starting to come in there, well, they had the music playing, and on came the song, Billy Ray Cyrus's song. Now, mind you, this is July the 16th. That early morning, and they are playing the song on the radio, Achy Breaky Heart. Here I am, in pain. I was already sick with the flu and the crud and the croup and everything else. And I already had fever because of it. Then I've done this, then that makes my fever spike. So my fever had spiked more. And they couldn't, I got into the ER around 7:15, 7:30. And then that was that morning. And then they didn't start surgery on me till 5:30 that evening of the 16th. And when I was in ER, that song was playing, and I'm on that gurney in the ER, and they're working with me, and the nurse is going, what are you singing? And I'd be singing with the song, and instead of saying achy breaky heart, I'd go, my achy breaky back. And they would all crack up, and they go, what? I said, well, he may be saying the song is for an achy breaky heart, but for me, it's an achy breaky back. And it's an achy breaky leg, but I would say achy breaky back. And they, oh wow. And so that helped me get through all the pain and everything, you know. And because then another time when I did fall off the porch with my back, it came on again. And then I was singing that again. They said, you're the one that sung that back with your leg. And I go, yeah. And here you are singing it again. I said, yeah, and now it's my back. Achy breaky back. And they were going, girl, you crack us up. And I go, well, however I can get through the pain is what I'm going to do. And so, but anyway, that's when I broke my T12, when I fell off my porch. But anyway, you know, you do what you got to do, you know, and that's when he helped me. And then, of course, I went in surgery at 5:30, and I didn't come out of surgery until 1 o'clock, 1:30. And then I go into the recovery room, and then I get back to my room at 3 o'clock that morning of the 17th of July, and then of 1989, and then at 3:15 I went, and that was it. And then I didn't wake up for quite a while after that. Even, you know, I was out for a while, but they brought me back. But I knew later that, I think it was late that afternoon of the 17th, that night, I kept going, why are my arms and legs so sore? Well, you've got messed up left ankle, and your right leg is broken in 2 places. And I go, no, and I would show them, and I go, my arms, I can't even hardly lift my arms. What is deal? They said, you were fighting us tooth and toenail. As we were putting the tubes down you, you were pulling them all back out. And I go, what? So I had to have all those puzzles put back together. And later on, I got to talk with the nurse that actually came in to check on me, and saw that my feet had already turned purple and blue. My hands were turning purple and blue. And then around my lips were turning a dark purple. The lips, instead of being the red, they were blue. But then around them, they were getting real dark purple. And then she heard me say, and that was it. I was gone. And they did a code blue, and they said they ran that for a while. And everybody was in the room. It was a small room, but a lot of people were in there, and I couldn't believe how many people were in there. But I had what they call an out-of-body experience. I was in the corner of the room with an angel on either side of me, and I didn't want to go back. And so, if anybody wants to hear that story about that part of it, private message me, and we'll talk on FaceTime, and I'll share the rest of the details with you. And that was really a very powerful moment, because I did not want to go back. And for some reason, I'm still here. Now, what that reason is, I have no idea. But I just know that my journey's not over with, and my journey since then, it's been like a new birth, and I've been through a lot since then, and seems like when the more faith and the more belief you have, the more the other likes to step in and try to sway you otherwise. And I rebel against that. I don't give in to that. I'm not about to, because I'm not a quitter. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'm a survivor. And that would be a cop-out. That's taking the easy road out, the easy street. No. Life is not easy. It's not a bed of roses. But yet, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes within reason to do what it takes to do whatever it is. And then if you're not able to, go, well, okay, all right. I've done what I can today and tonight, so we'll start fresh tomorrow and see what we can get done. And that, you know, you go from there. But you don't ever give up. Oh, yes, it would be so easy. Granted, I had those moments more times than I wish to have. But you know what? When I have those moments, like with my flare-ups, all that does is make me that much more stronger, that much more determined, and that much more stubborn, and makes my strength and my belief and my walk with God that much stronger. Because, yeah, it would be, oh yeah, okay, I'm done. No more. No more. But no, because, you know, what's that going to do? Not going to help or solve anything. It's just going to make everything all worse. So, you know, it's kind of like you can only have a pity party so long and cry over spilt milk till you've got to get down there however you can, or whichever way you can, to be able to clean it up. Because you're not going to always have somebody to do it for you. It's either going to get done or it's not going to get done, or you're going to have to figure out a way. It may be the most unorthodox way of doing whatever it is you've got to do it. But so what? What difference does it make? As long as it's getting done, or at least getting started, and yet they see that you're not giving up. Well, she's got some gumption behind her, or he's got some gumption behind him. And then the people are going to try to help, then you can do that, but you don't want them to completely do it, because then you're not letting your candle shine. You're giving your candle to somebody else to let it shine. Well, that's all fine and well and good, but at some point I want my candle back. And then, okay, you've helped me that far, I can do it the rest of the way. So, you know, it's just words of wisdom and words of thought and food for thought to apply if it applies to you, and if not, well, okay. You know, but you never know if you're going to need it. So, and I never know on these videos what I'm going to say, because I'm also being guided and given the words to say. And some of these words that I've been saying tonight on this video, I'm like, now, where did that come from? Even as I'm speaking, I've been thinking, well, that's not what I was going to say, but okay, all right. Maybe I'm, you know, they got a reason for me to say this. And maybe this is my way of them showing me that this is what, you know, because I've even asked them, what's my purpose? I mean, why am I still here? You know, what's the you know, just give me a reason. And so maybe with what all that I've gone through and are going through may help somebody else, even in the smallest, littlest speck of way. I mean, whatever and however it is able to help you, great. I'm glad it's helping you. I'm glad that it helped you, or I'm glad that you heard that, and now you're going to see how you can apply it to your situation. And, you know, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. You know, it's put there on the buffet table. Pick and choose however much you want. Grab the whole amount all on there, or come back and pick up some more. I mean, it's there. That's why I started making these videos more than what I normally do here lately, because this arm, I've not been making them as much as I've been wanting to. I've made some, but I've not put them up on YouTube yet, because it takes even longer for me to get it processed because of the hand. So this time I'm going to be able to do a little bit more, but I'm still going to be baby this right hand a little bit. I'm going to be using it more, but yet I'm not going to overuse it on the typing and stuff. So I have a tendency to write long or type long or even speak long. You know, that's just how I am. That's me. And if you've got a problem with that, well, then, oh well. You know, I only know how to do with me. So, you know, but anyway, I hope this video helps you in some way or another. Just know I'm saying prayers for you and your family, and sending healing energy to all of you, and sending bunches of soft, gentle hugs and loves to you, and ALOHA'S to each of you and your OHANA. And be careful, be safe, be watchful of others. Don't text and drive, and don't drink and drive. Even one sip, you are impaired, because your motorbike, your Harley, your horse, your tractor, your go-kart, your car, your truck, 18-wheeler, bus, plane, train, whatever, or even a bicycle, or if you're just walking, the walking is you, and you cannot be replaced. But all the others that I mentioned, even your cell phone, can all be replaced. But you cannot be replaced. You are worth it. The lives in that vehicle with you are worth it. They cannot be replaced. The life or the lives in the other vehicle or vehicles are worth it. All of these mechanical objects and things can be replaced. You cannot be. Because once you're gone, you're gone. And your loved ones will not get to be with you until they are called home, and y'all will be together again. But nobody knows how long a time that will be before that takes place. That's why it's so important, for what time you do have, that you use it wisely and lovingly, and take the time to spend time with family, with friends, your loved ones. And if you are blessed enough to have your parents still here on earth with you, take the time, take that extra effort, make the time to spend with your parent or parents. And even make it where it's alone time and not just on a errand to run and do for them, or the two of you go and do a morning or an afternoon or an evening or a whole day of just spending time with that person and going and doing and having fun. And, you know, you just take that time, because at some point, they're not going to be there. They're going to be gone. Yes, all four of my parents are in heaven. Granted, and it's a given. I know without a doubt and for a fact that we will all be together again. But when? I have no idea. God knows, and He's not sharing that. But yet it's going to be a grand platinum reunion when that time does come. And it's going to be a joyous time. The only sadness I see and know is the fact that it's the sadness that you're wanting to feel the hug, the touch, and hear the sound of their voice and their laughter, and talk to them on the phone, and all these little things that you take for granted that are no longer there. And then now that they are gone, it will eventually come around and hit you like you had gone and slammed up against a brick wall. Because then you realize that everything that you did together and had and, you know, did, even if it was just cooking in the kitchen or camping or fishing or boating or whatever time that you spent with that person and with the family and all together. And simplest thing is talking on the phone, you calling them or them calling you, or watching them. My mama, instead of having a piece of paper, she didn't have a piece of paper on her, she would grab a napkin, or she'll grab take the bill out of the envelope and use the envelope to write down whatever she needed to write down. Or a lot of times she'll write it on her hand, and then she won't use that hand to drive because it's going to rub off. And then she'll be driving along. She says, hey, pull that paper out and the pen and write this down. And she's got all kinds of things going up and down her fingers and all on her hand and going up her arm. And I go, Mama, she said, well, I didn't have any paper. I didn't have a napkin or an envelope. I said, okay. And two, it'll wash off, but you need to get it before you can't see what's on there, because you got to put this down on paper. So, you know, that little thing is gone. You don't have that no more. The, you know, silly, oddest things that they do. And you kind of would go, why are you doing that? And so that conversation in that moment in time, it's like, poof, it's gone. You remember it, but it's not like, okay, let's go and do this again, or you think something of that similarity will happen. And so it's stuff that you take for granted. And just, you know, make the time, take the time, and don't be in such a rush to hurry up that time. And however long it can be, do it, but make it more often than just once every other month, or, you know, just take the time, because it's going to mean more to you later on, and it's going to help you. It's going to be your soft pillow to fall on for when they are called home, because then that's going to help you through it at some point. Not it may help you from the get-go, but, you know, that's what has helped me. And now that I'm at that stage again, in that time in my, in years, that you start thinking of it more and you value it more and you're wanting it more and you're desiring it more and wishing for it more and hoping for it more, praying for more, because we cannot get enough. It's like, and we're not filling it, and it's not being filled up fast enough, because then once we're, done for the day or the evening, we want more of it. It's like a Lay's potato chip. You just can't eat one. You want more, because we're trying to fill this all up, because we know our time is limited, because it seems to go faster as you get in this stage of game. And it's not really a game. I call it a game because don't ask me why, I don't know, but that's how I put it. And it helps me on, but yet trying to get the others around me to realize that I might as well be out there talking to a fence post. And so, and then what part I do get, I grab a hold of it, and it's like I'm devouring it, but yet I'm wanting more of it. And then I try to take it slowly, because I don't know how long it's going to be before I get to have some more of it. It's kind of like the song, you want some more of it. So, but anyway, I'm going to cut this. It's already over an hour long, but yet there were some important facts that I feel that needed to be heard, needed to be said. And so there you have it. And like Paul Harvey says on his radio show back in the day, stay tuned for the rest of the story. I love y'all. And come see me, please. I don't, if you're able to, great. If you live close by, great. Or make a point, make a day, day trip or something, but come see me. I really miss seeing everyone, and I am, for the ones that really know me, they know that when I used to have a car, I would drive a lot, and I was always out going and doing, but yet I was, also had my kids with me as well, but we were going and doing and spending time, and I like to spend time with people, and I miss that. I crave it. And I'm to the point now that I'm not really all that able to go out to do all that. Some of the times I'm able to. Some of the times I'm not able to. But yet, as far as going and visiting, it's usually just right here on either side of me where I go to visit. And, Wednesday of this next week is going to be an adventure for me. And so I'll have my what I call my first adventure out. Well, I've already had one adventure out on my own, and that was when I first got the loaner chair. and that was before my surgery. Now this is Wednesday is going to be after my surgery, so I'm glad I got a few days for it to kind of settle down and not be so tender like it is before I go, because I know that if I need to call and do it another way, I can do it another way, and that won't be a problem. But I want to try and do it on my own and see. But I know I still got a noggin up there, and that says, hey, the body says, no, you better not try that. You better go ahead and call who you need to come and pick you in the loaner chair up and take you, and then do it that way. So we may do that, you know. So I've got that as a backup plan. But yet, that's, you know, another purpose of that, so that I can kind of get out on my own, and so I'm not so tied to the house, you know. And, you know, I have to be careful with this loaner chair because it's really not mine, but I'm thinking that sometime towards the end of this month, if not next month, I should be getting my chair. It's just call it my native gut feeling, you know. So we'll see how that turns about on that. So anyway, y'all take care. Just know I'm thinking of you. I love y'all. Love y'all. Aloha. Night night. Thank you again for listening to me, and I hope you take it to heart. Love y'all.